But Aditya Agarwala is also with us on the show right now. Aditya, hi, good to be speaking with you. Let's begin by discussing a couple of these important stocks which will be in focus. Dr. Reddy's reported a decent set of numbers. They have reiterated their FY25 guidance as well. On the other hand, however, Cummins will be in focus because the global parent, which is Cummins Inc., reported its numbers. While the overall numbers were strong and the stock shot up 8-9%, the commentary regarding the Indian market was on the weaker side. In fact, they have cut down the guidance in India to just 1% growth versus 8 to 9% growth that they had talked about in the earlier quarters. Aditya, what does the chart check suggest on Dr. Reddy's as well as Cummins India?
Hi, thanks for having the show. So if I talk about Dr. Reddy first, stock did witness a correction initially, and after that it took support at the 200 DMA. From there, it's bounced back. So I think there is still a trading pop in the stock at current levels. One can still initiate a fresh long position in the stock with stop loss just around 1250 or 1230 on the downside. On the upside, I believe stock can test levels of 1350 to about 1340 on the upside. It's still in a trading band. What is interesting is stock keeps on testing its 200 DMA, and from there it bounces back to test to make a new all-time high. If that holds true this time around also, then above 1360, 1350, stock can again head to levels of 1400 plus. So yes, definitely from risk to reward perspective as well, I would be a buyer in Dr. Reddy's at current levels. Now, talking of Cummins, this is one segment which has seen a sharp sell-off. If we talk about Cummins, Siemens, ABB, all three stocks within the cap goods space has seen a decent correction. And I think charts do look weak for all these stocks. Talking specifically about Cummins, it's very close to its key support level of 3400. If that is broken on the downside, stock can further slide down to levels of 3200 to about 3100. So I would wait it out for the stock to break 3400. I would be a seller in the stock if it breaks 3400 for a target of 3200 immediately on the downside, with the stop loss just around 3500 on the upside. So as far as Cummins is concerned, looks weak. Dr. Reddy, yes, could be a trading pop from current levels.
Aditya, let's quickly get in your take on some of those metal stocks that saw a smart rebound yesterday. What do you make of the charts?
Avan, I think there's good bit of up move still left in these stocks. Specifically, if I talk about NMDC, that is looking interesting to me on the chart setup, on the verge of a breakout from a downward sloping trend line. I think there is still more room on the upside as far as NMDC is concerned. So at current levels, I would definitely look at adding the stock in my portfolio for a target of at least 260 to about 270 on the upside, with a stop loss at 230 on the downside. The second stock, which does look interesting to me, is Hindalco. I think that is also one stock which had seen a significant correction from the peak, and now it's showing some kind of a strength. So at current levels, I could also look at Hindalco for a target of 740 on the upside, with a stop loss just around 685 on the downside. Mind you, I still feel metals are still a trading bet. One has to be little vigilant as far as buying into metal stocks are concerned, because if you're holding on to it for long term, maybe you will see divergences and gyrations in the in metal counters. So stick to names which are showing decent upside, and use them as a trading bet rather than an investment at the current levels.
What do we have on the market? I think I want to go back to that rally what we saw yesterday in banks. HDFC Bank had a great comeback. We saw a good comeback again in Kotak Mahindra Bank. Aditya, how's Kotak Mahindra Bank looking? I mean, there is a lot of bad news. I mean, there is only bad news, let me put it this way. And when there is only bad news, and if the stock starts rising, that means it is bottoming out.
Absolutely, Nikunj. But one has to be a little patient as far as Kotak Mahindra Bank is concerned. This could be one of the dark horses within the large cap banking spaces. And if you hold on to it for at least, I guess, a year or so, you could see decent upside in the stock. And as rightly mentioned by you, all the negatives are getting priced in, and the stock is not getting beaten down, as is the case with other banking stocks as well. So I think Kotak Mahindra Bank is an excellent buy, given the fact that the risk to reward is in favor of going long in the stock. On the downside, I think 1650, 1700 should act as a key support area. And on the flip side, if the stock actually starts to turn around from here, can easily test levels of 2100, which happens to be the upper end of the range in which the stock has been stuck for good 2.5 years now. And if that breaks out, I think 2400 cannot be ruled out as well. But yes, like I mentioned, there is no immediate trend in the stock. It's more of a sideways consolidation which is taking place. One has to be a little patient as far as Kotak Mahindra Bank is concerned. But the technical setup does suggest that it could be time before stock actually starts to inch higher and eventually break out from that range.
Let's take the mid-cap ideas with our technical experts at the moment. Aditya, what's the top mid-cap bet?
So I'll bet on Ashok Leyland, Anisha. I think after a decent correction, stock is now poised for an up move from current levels. So for a target of 230, I'll be a buyer in the stock with a stop loss at 202. That looks like a good pop-up trade from current levels. The second stock is ICICI GI. This is one again. Look at the insurance companies. I think after the recent correction, they look ripe for a good up move on the upside. So at current levels, I'll be a buyer in ICICI GI for a target of 2070 with a stop loss at 1835 on the downside.
Point taken. Kunal, what's your top mid-cap strategy?
Well, from the mid-cap end, I would probably be bullish on Deepak Nitrite. That's a chart which apparently over the last few weeks has been a lot more sideways. Yesterday, the stock managed to give a bullish engulfing pattern just around the 2,700 mark where it closed yesterday. So, would look out for a buy with a target of 2,800. Stop loss could be kept at 2,650.
Okay.
Aditya, what is the trade, Bank Nifty or the Nifty?
You can pick any, Nikunj. I think since Kunal has already picked up Bank Nifty, I think Nifty can also see some kind of an up move from current levels. What is interesting is Nifty has shown a bit of positive divergences on multiple time frame charts. And if it manages to sustain above 24,300, 24,500, 24,600 cannot be ruled out on the Nifty. So I would be a buyer on Nifty either on at current levels, or we get a decline of 50, 60 point on the downside with the stop loss just below 24,000. I would be a buyer in the Nifty for a target of 24,600 or 24,700 on the upside.
Okay, that's a take coming in on the frontline indices. But
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.